when you hear of Bin Laden, you think of the Taliban. But actually, you're wrong. Taliban and Al-Qaeda, two organizations born out of Islamic roots, seem to be almost the same. Though both of them talk about an Islamic world, there are many differences between them. Al-Qaeda wants to establish Islamic rule and that all governments should be ruled by Islamic leaders. The Taliban, dominated by people with Pashtun identity, controlled Afghanistan from 1996 to 2001. Mullah Muhammad Omar, who was an extremely enigmatic person, founded the Taliban. The leader of Al-Qaeda is Osama bin Laden. It all started in late December 1997. After many months of preparations, the Russians invaded Afghanistan. In order to prevent that possibility, the U.S. began to fund forces to oppose the Soviet Union. The United States funded Afghan insurgents was called Mujahideen. The Mujahideen were organized into different political parties and armed and supported by many different countries, including Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and the United States. They gained significant power and money during the Afghan-Soviet War. Among those drawn to Afghanistan were wealthy, ambitious, young Saudi named Osama bin Laden and the head of the Egyptian jihad organization, Ajman al-Zawahiri. On September 11, 2001, a day which since will be famously known as 9/11, 19 men armed with knives abducted U.S. Airlines 0175 and crashed into the World Trade Center in the U.S. Another hijacked plane also demolished a wing of the Pentagon. This attack resulted in the loss of more than 3,000 lives. The United States believed that bin Laden was the real culprit behind the terrorist attack, the man who backstabbed them despite the promise of their alliance. The U.S. government demanded the Taliban, who was protecting Al-Qaeda at that time, to hand him over. Their response was by asking for proof of bin Laden's guilt. After receiving none, they refused to hand him over. Within a few weeks, the outraged United States began bombing Afghanistan and launched Operation Enduring Freedom Afghanistan. Following weeks of devastating bombing and several failed attempts, the Northern Alliance succeeded in breaking out of its northern enclave, taking the city of Mazar-Sharif and moving over to take Kabul. The Taliban, who began surrendering and abandoning almost all of their major cities, started to retreat into the mountains. Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda, was killed on Monday, May 2nd, 2011, shortly after 1 a.m. in Operation Neptune Spear. Though his death wasn't entirely enough to stop or even ease the war, it turned out to be a big turning point to Afghanistan's history. Many parts of Afghanistan are still being ravaged by the talons of war. War makes friends into enemies, and enemies into friends. The media uses certain facts to manipulate the public. And when it comes to war, it comes. The battle for truth will continue for all eternity. We need to keep ourselves on our toes to know who's the real enemy, because the enemy is always changing. Thank you for your patience, for your kind attention.